Unlucky with the ERS glitch last weekend. We can reduce our chances of similar failures in the future by focusing on upgrades to our powertrain.
You guys, Features Gaming here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today we are back with another episode of our My Team Career Mode, episode number 4 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix today. So to start off, I enabled some team activities for the team to do throughout the week when we simulate. We also looked for any team upgrades, and there weren't any that we could get. I also got all recommended R&D upgrades, which included a failed component, and then I also switched a few engine parts out that were slightly worn out. And I also then simulated through the days, and we actually had a personnel department meeting we needed to attend to.
Hey, the personnel team wants to run this one past you.
So the team wanted to basically check with me if it's okay if they install a new simulation software, which I agreed to because it was only $20,000 and it also upgraded our second driver as well. So I decided to accept it and get the new simulation software in.
Thanks for stepping in and helping handle that.
So after that, I went to quickly check for any more R&D upgrades we could get, and we actually managed to get another failed R&D component. So I quickly rebought that and then simulated through the week, and then it was on to qualifying. So let's jump into that now. So let's get into qualifying. So here we are at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Made sure I did all the practice programs as well before qualifying, and I managed to get all development upgrades, and also back in the good old cockpit cam with the helmet mix on, which is what I just prefer to do. It's coming into turn 1, braking quite heavily into turn 1, making sure I kind of nailed that, making sure I got on the exit as well to try and maximize the traction. Coming through turn 2, and there was a Ferrari in front that just came out of the pits, and there's actually a Ferrari behind me. So I actually went into the, I followed the Ferrari for a bit, going down into turn 1, even though it wasn't on the racing line, but I just wanted to make sure I could try and maximize the power that I could. Going into turn 3 there, making sure I ran wide as well. Going into turn 4 as well, making sure to hug the apex. But then I just get on the power a bit too early, a bit too eager. While I was looking behind to see where the Ferrari was, and I spin out, completely destroy my front wing. So bailed out of that and went back round to the pits. And obviously had to come into the pits to repair that. So very slow into the pits because obviously I had no downforce whatsoever from the front end. So it was going to be a bit difficult to try and keep that in. So now let's go on to my second qualifying run, my first actually lap that I did in anger on this circuit. So making sure that coming through those final few turns, making sure to keep the power planted to try and maximize the power to this very long straight. So we're getting into turn 1, making sure to brake quite heavily and try and hug the inside curb again. Into turn 1 if you can. Into turn 2, same thing, hug the apex, but don't get onto the curb. You don't want to make your car go airborne and then, hope and then, drift it into the wall, because that is quite easy to do around Azerbaijan. Into turn 3 there, hugging the apex again, getting wide as well to try and maximize the power. Into turn 4, same thing, hug the apex there, and making sure you don't spin out on the exit, which we didn't do unlike the first time. It's turns 5 and 6, making sure to get very close to the apex there, and then as well into the second part as well, turn 6, making sure to try and nail that. Into turn 7, again, good, getting it quite good around there is quite tricky. Now the castle section, turn 8, very, very tricky and technical. Just make sure that, when you get it in, just try and straight line it if you can. Then try and keep that through each corner, which I think again I managed to do quite well. Onto this straight as well, just making sure you can try and hug the apexes as much as you can into that turn, making sure you get it quite good there, which I did, unlike the real life Grand Prix where there were races crashing out plenty. Into the final proper braking point corner, if that's what you can call it. Making sure to nail that as well before this very long back, back straight or home straight, as if you don't, then it can destroy your speed, especially for the last part of the lap. And now here, I kept it on the left-hand side as I thought that was probably the quickest way to go in terms of distance. I wouldn't need to go as further. But that was my first lap, and I think it's P16 at the moment, or is it? Yeah, P16 at the moment. So going on to my final lap, just making sure that, to try and get a better one, because if not, I probably would be out if people improve their lap time. So coming through this back straight again, just wanted to make sure that I kept the power planted to the floor in order to try and maximize the power that I could get going down the home straight. So again, into turn 1, spotting the 100-meter board, braking through the left, hooking the E-curb again, and then that was good. And then into turn 2, same thing, try and hook that inside curb but don't touch it, and try and get as close to the wall on the outside as you can, going through there, and then going through this straight, just making sure to try and keep the car as straight as you can and try and get as much power as you can. Turns 3 and 4, again, try and hook the apex but don't touch it. I actually got onto the apex there into turn 4 and actually got a bit of oversteer on the exit, so it probably cost me a bit of tenths. So I am slightly down on my delta, so that is not best. That's not good. I'm actually in P17 as well, so at this stage I was going out into turn 7, making sure to hug that apex. I think I did it quite well. And now the tricky castle section, swing it in there, and then, you know, to the right. Green on the delta now, so hopefully I can keep that onto the apex there. Pretty decent, but it's not the best exit that I got on my first round, so my delta starts going down. And then coming through here, I'm now red on my delta, unfortunately. If I was going to improve, it's only going to be minor. And then into the final braking turn, swing it into the left, try and get on the power as, you know, as quick as you can, and then keeping it through here. I'm still red on my delta. Can I improve? Just going through these, making sure you tap those curbs as much as you can. Probably not the second one going through the right-hander, but definitely the left. You can get onto that curb as much as you can. Am I going to improve? The delta's going down. I don't think I'm going to improve. Go on the actual racing line this time. And no, I don't improve. So it's P17 for me. Didn't improve at all. So yeah, I am out of qualifying. And my teammate Jack Aiken actually in last place there too. I think it's like 8 tenths off me. So he's, you know, got to improve a lot. So let's get into the race. And I'll show you how that went right now. So welcome along everyone to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with the Mercedes and actually a McLaren on the front row, and obviously me down in P17 and my teammate Jack Aiken in last place, so he's got a lot to make up in this race, as do I as well, being knocked out in Q1. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix then, Baku City Circuit, a 3.7 mile long circuit, 20 turns, a very tricky castle section, sector 2, and a flat out sector 3. Pretty much, you know, 8th gear throughout the entire thing. So let's get into the race start now then. As you can see me there actually in P16 actually. I thought it was P17, so obviously there must have been a few grid penalties there for a few drivers, but lights out and away we go into turn 1, going down the inside of the Alfa Romeo, and I actually get past, and I actually had a look to go past Kimi Räikkönen and Esteban Ocon as well into turn 1, but didn't make it. And then into turn 2 again, 3 wide, and I think I may have had a little bit of contact with the Alfa Romeo Kimi Räikkönen. Didn't damage my front wing in any way, so that was all good. But yeah, a little bit aggressive off this start, and then going into turn 3 through the dust of the other cars. Couldn't really see where I was going, so I just made sure to tuck in behind the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. And now onto the end of lap 1, sector 3, making sure I tried to nail the exit going out of turn 18, I think it is, or turn 17, and then coming down this lap back straight, a bit close to the Alpine and Esteban Ocon. Can I try anything? I look down the inside, braking heavily, and I tell you what, that was a super late lunge from me there. Probably shouldn't have done it, but off this start I wanted to be aggressive on the 2-stop strategy as well, so I made sure to fully send that. On to lap 3 now, trying to chase down the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll and Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo as well, who actually got past them. Both me and Lance Stroll there, lock up. So I tried to nail my exit and trying to get past Lance Stroll going into that turn 4, and I just about get it done as well. As I said, being aggressive on this 2-stop strategy in the early stages on the soft tyre compound. So yeah, and then on to lap 6 is actually when I went into the pits to get rid of these soft tyres, because they were actually dropping out with being so aggressive in the early stages of the race as well. So hop into the pits to go on to a set of medium tyres. And as I said, it was on a 2-stop strategy, so I will have to stop again later on in the race I think most races went from mediums to hards. I wanted to be quite aggressive, so pretty good, a quick pit stop there, 2.2 seconds I think from the team, so that was good. And I was released in 21st place, just behind Nikita Mazepin, and on lap 8 I am now behind him. So DRS going down this straight. Can I do anything going into turn 3? I'm gaining. Do I do anything? No, not close enough. So I just took him behind and seeing if I can make a move anywhere else into turn 4. No, it would have been a bit stupid to do something into turn 4 though, let's be honest. But down out the exit of turn 4, I get very close. Have a look down the inside, and I just about get past the hat of Nikita Mazepin. And then on to lap 10 now, actually chasing down my teammate now, Jack Aitken, who's actually in 19th place. So he has made a few positions, but it's about what happens at the end. So down this back straight, I know I'd have DRS as well by him as well, because I am within 1 second. So going down here, DRS open, overtake enabled, go to the inside, and very cleanly get past him up into P16, thanks to a few other racers pitting as well. And that was me past my teammate Jack Aitken, being very clean because obviously he is my teammate. And now I was chasing down George Russell in the Williams. So onto lap 11, the very next lap as well, getting very close to the wall there. But yeah, just trying to make sure that I can maximize my power out of each corner. So pull into the inside of George Russell. I think I actually got past him slightly just before the DRS. So just made sure to enable it and then, you know, get past him. And that was me safely past George Russell way before turn 1 up into P15. So now on to P12. And as you can see in front, there's a massive DRS train there, or a massive train of cars. So I knew that the DRS train was going to be quite OP going down the home straight. But I was just trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin. Yeah, through the castle section, you can just see the amount of cars there. It's absolutely crazy. So I knew that, you know, there was going to be a lot of action going on down the back straight. But even before the back straight, there was moves being made. So I was kind of thinking, okay, let's try and not make this a crash or anything like that. But coming down here, I wasn't actually as close to the cars in front, so I don't actually think I gained anything. I think I actually lost quite a bit to all of the cars in front because obviously they had the DRS in that train as well. The only car that I might have gained on is the car at the front of this DRS train, which is probably the Red Bull or the Mercedes. But yeah, going into turn 1 though, gained a bit of positions, and then I have a look down the inside of Sebastian Vettel going into turn 2, and nearly got past him, but he just got the better exit. So I just try and took him. I have the DRS now. Can I try anything going into turn 3? Go down the inside, and still to the left is side by side going through turn 3. What's going to happen going into turn 4? Still side by side, and Sebastian Vettel just gets on the curb, and I guess has to kind of bail out of that. But that was a great battle from me there and Sebastian Vettel, and eventually I got through into P13, now into P12 actually, trying to chase down Fernando Alonso in the Alpine. So going through the first straight. Can I do anything going into turn 3? I'm gaining ever so slightly. Have a look down the inside. Can I do anything? It's side by side, and I just managed to just send it into that corner. And again, that's me up into P11. So again, really enjoying this race. Now on to P18 now. And I go into the pits. I think it was actually a lap later than the team actually told me to, because I was kind of thinking these mediums do feel semi-okay. So yeah, I think I was actually in P2 when I went into the pits, and just being in this pit lane and just hearing the cars soaring past on my right, I was at that, you know, it was really annoying. I was hoping for a quick pit stop, relatively quick. I think that was like 2.4 seconds going onto the medium tires, and now I've been released into P14 into the race. And the team haven't actually changed the wing in the pit stops, because I did actually elect to say no, do not change the wing, as there is a slight bug with that at the moment. But now on to P22, as much stuff really isn't happening, and it's Yuki Tsunoda who's actually gaining a lot on me, going down the outside there. Is he going to do anything into turn 1? I mean, I was in the inside there, defending my position, and I just managed to stay in front of the AlphaTauri driver there. And now on to P24. Again, Yuki Tsunoda tries the same thing, tries to switch back that time. And again, I just say no. Now on to lap 24 now, trying to chase down Lando Norris in the McLaren in front. The team actually told me he had an issue, I think, the midway point through the race. So I knew that if I was going to get, close to him, it probably would be a quite easy overtake. So onto the very long home straight there. Opening DRS, enabling overtakes, they did have access to that. So coming down here, I go to the outside. I like to go on the outside because obviously he's defending the line, so we go down the outside, absolutely send it into turn 1, obviously leaving him the space, and that was me past Lando Norris up into P11 as well. So as it stands like this, going on to the the final 2 laps, this is going to be my career best finish ever. And as we go on to the final lap, I'm actually going to leave this whole final lap in, so you can kind of see how much I was pushing in order to keep this P11, as I did want to try and keep this P11 because obviously it's my career best finish as of yet, so I did want to try and keep it. I'm 2.4 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. I don't think we're going to try and get past him. Yuki Tsunoda only half a second behind me, so I was a little bit worried about the power he was going to have going down the home straight and maybe potentially get past me on the home straight. So I just wanted to make sure that I could maximize the power out of each corner at this stage in the race to try and ensure that Yuki Tsunoda will not be as close. He's actually 7 tenths behind, nearly 8 tenths now, so now a full second behind me. So I just wanted to try and keep this into the castle section there. Got a bit close on the left hand side there of the wall. You may have seen the car slightly got turned to the right slightly. I just opened the steering just to make sure that I could get round there without knocking off my front wing. Yuki Tsunoda now back to about half a second, now 6 tenths. So coming into the final braking turn here, swinging it to the left, nailing the traction as quick as I could. You could see a little bit of an oversteer there, a bit of a slide, but I just wanted to make sure that I planted the power down as quick as I could. And Yuki Tsunoda going backwards slightly, he was at like 9 tenths there, and now going down this home straight, and I think I fairly sealed off the fight. So as I come through the home straight in P11 to cross the line, and no time penalties or anything from anyone, so that was my best finish ever in my career as of yet. P11 at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So yeah, pretty good race from me there, I must say. So here's the race rundown. So Valtteri Bottas, Ricciardo, Verstappen on the podium, Lewis Hamilton in P4 there, Sergio Perez in P5, Charles Leclerc in P6, and then followed by Carlos Sainz, then Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri, Lance Stroll in P9, and then Fernando Alonso in P10. Myself there then in P11, and then followed by Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri, who actually got driver of the day and the quickest lap out of anyone. Lando Norris in P13, so Yuki Tsunoda managed to get past Lando Norris. Sebastian Vettel in P14, followed by Esteban Ocon in the Alpine in P15. Antonio Giovinazzi in P16, followed then by my rival Kimi Raikkonen in P17. Then George Russell in P18, followed by Mick Schumacher in the Haas in P19. Nicholas Latifi in P20, then Nikita Mazepin in P21, and then followed by my teammate Jack Aiken, who came last, so he couldn't do anything in terms of that. And that is going to be the end of this episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this race. If you did, then make sure you leave a like for some more F1 content. Make sure to subscribe as well if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream. But until then, take care and peace out.